The thick forest was dark and silent, except for the sound of quick footsteps moving through the trees. A lone human soldier ran carefully, his eyes sharp and alert, watching every shadow. He was not afraid of the dark or the strange noises, because he had a mission to complete. Ahead, hidden behind a fallen tree, lay a wounded figure, struggling to move. She was an alien warrior, strong and fierce, but now weak and bleeding. Her armor was cracked, and her breathing was heavy and fast. The soldier slowly approached, holding his weapon ready. But he did not shout or make any noise. He wanted to see if she was a threat or just a lost fighter. The alien's eyes opened, filled with pain, but also with fire. "Don't kill me, human," she said softly, her voice trembling. "I will warm your eye." "Bed, if you spare my life," she added, dropping to her knees. Her plea was strange and surprising, but her fear was clear. The soldier paused, confused by her words. He looked at her closely, noticing the many cuts and bruises. She was not the fierce enemy he expected, but a broken warrior asking for mercy. For a long moment, the two stared at each other in silence. The forest seemed to hold its breath, waiting for what would happen next. Would the soldier kill her, or would he show mercy? Slowly, the soldier lowered his weapon. He decided to take a risk and listen to her story. He helped her to stand and supported her weak body. Together, they moved quietly through the forest. The soldier was careful not to let any enemies hear them. He wanted to keep her safe, but also to understand why she begged for her life. As they walked, the alien warrior looked at the human with eyes full of pain and hope. She wanted to trust him, but was afraid. Her past was full of battles and loss, and she was not sure if this human was different. The soldier's mind was full of questions. Why did she say such a strange thing? Why did she promise to warm his bed? He did not know the answer yet, but he felt something different about this alien warrior. She was not just a fighter. She was someone with a story to tell. That night, at the human camp, the soldier carefully placed her on a soft bed. Other soldiers watched with suspicion and fear. They did not trust the alien and thought she might be a spy or a trap. The alien warrior closed her eyes and whispered again, "Don't kill me, human. I need your help." Her voice was weak, but her words carried a strong message. The soldier sat beside her, feeling a strange connection. He did not understand her fully, but he knew this was only the beginning. Something important was about to happen outside the camp. The wind howled and the night was full of danger. Enemies were near, watching and waiting, but inside, a silent battle was starting between fear and trust. The captured alien warrior was not just a prisoner. She was a key to a future no one could yet see. And the human soldier who chose to spare her life had no idea what he had started. The story of two worlds, one human, one alien, was about to unfold, with secrets, dangers, and a hope that could change everything. "Don't kill me, human. I will warm your bed," she said one last time. And the soldier wondered what those words really meant. The forest waited quietly for the next move. And so did the fate of the captured alien warrior. The morning sun shone weakly through the thin branches above the camp. Inside the tent, the alien warrior lay quietly on the bed. Still weak from her wounds, the human soldier who saved her sat nearby, watching carefully. He wanted to understand more about this strange being who begged for her life. Outside, the other soldiers whispered among themselves. Many did not trust the alien at all. They saw her only as an enemy, someone dangerous and unknown. But the soldier who saved her felt different. He remembered the moment when she fell to her knees, her voice soft but urgent as she begged, "Don't kill me, human. I will warm your bed." Those words stayed in his mind. Strange but sincere. As days passed, the soldier helped the alien warrior heal. He cleaned her wounds and brought her food and water. Slowly, she began to trust him a little. She told him, Her name was Kayla, a name that sounded strong and proud. Kayla looked at the soldier with eyes full of pain and gratitude. She had fought many battles on her planet. Her people were at war with powerful enemies. She had been captured during a fierce fight. Her story was full of loss and hardship. She told the soldier about her home, a distant world filled with tall mountains and deep rivers. She said her people were brave and proud warriors. But war had changed everything, leaving her alone and hurt. The soldier listened closely. Feeling a deep respect for Kayla, he could see the strength hidden beneath her pain. She was not just an enemy. She was a survivor, and now they were both trapped in a strange place. Far from home, one evening as the camp grew quiet, Kayla spoke again. "I promise to warm your bed," she said with a small, tired smile. "It was not just words," she explained. "In my culture, it means to protect and care for someone, to share trust and warmth in a cold world." The soldier was surprised by her words. He had thought it was a strange promise, but now he understood. Kayla was offering him more than safety. She was offering trust, a bond between two very different beings. But danger was never far away. Enemy scouts were still near the camp, watching carefully. The human soldiers prepared for possible attacks. Everyone knew that peace was fragile and could break at any moment. Kayla wanted to help, even though she was weak. She shared her knowledge of the enemy's tactics and weaknesses. Her insight was valuable, and the soldiers began to see her in a new light. Not just as a prisoner, but as an ally. However, not everyone was ready to accept her. Some soldiers whispered that she might be a spy, that her kindness was a trick, that the warrior would turn on them when they least expected. The soldier who saved Kayla felt torn. He trusted her, but he also knew the fear around him was real. Could he protect her and keep the camp safe at the same time? One night, the camp was attacked by enemy forces. The alarm sounded loudly, and soldiers rushed to their positions. The soldier and Kayla fought side by side, using their combined skills to defend the camp. Kayla moved with grace and power, despite her wounds. She showed the humans new fighting techniques, surprising them all. The enemy was fierce but unprepared for such teamwork. Slowly, the attackers began to retreat. After the battle, the camp was quiet again. The soldiers looked at Kayla with new respect and curiosity. She was no longer just the captured alien warrior. She was a protector, a fighter who stood with them. The soldier who saved her smiled quietly. He knew their journey had only just begun. Together, they would face many dangers and challenges. But for now, there was hope. Kayla's promise to warm his bed was more than words. It was a beginning of a trust that could change everything. And in the stillness of the camp, two very different souls found a fragile peace, waiting for the next storm to come. The days passed slowly in the quiet camp. Kayla, the alien warrior, grew stronger each morning, but her eyes held a deep sadness that no healing could fix. She kept her thoughts locked away, careful not to share too much. The human soldier who saved her watched her closely. He wanted to understand who she really was and why she fought so hard. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, he finally asked, "Kayla, tell me about your world and why you are here." Kayla looked at him, her eyes reflecting pain and hope. She took a deep breath and began her story. Her planet, Zyra, was once a beautiful place, full of life and peace. But then a great war broke out, tearing everything apart. Her people, the Zyrians, were strong warriors who protected their land for centuries. But a new enemy appeared, merciless and cruel. They wanted to conquer Zyra and use its resources for their own gain. Kayla was one of the warriors sent to fight back and protect her home. She told him about the battles she had seen, cities burning, friends lost. She spoke of the leaders who betrayed their own people for power. Her voice was quiet, but full of anger and sadness. She explained that she was captured during a secret mission. The mission was to find the enemy's weak spot, she said. But I was caught and left for dead. Kayla's hands trembled as she recalled the moment she was taken prisoner. Her trust in others was broken, but somehow she survived. The soldier listened carefully, feeling the weight of her story. He realized Kayla was not just a warrior, but also a prisoner of war and pain. He wanted to help her, not just heal her wounds, but ease her heart. Kayla paused, then whispered, "There is something else you should know." She leaned closer and said, "The war is not just on my planet, it is coming here too. The enemy is planning to attack this world, and we must stop them." The soldier's eyes widened in shock. He had thought the fight was far away, but now danger was close. He knew he could not ignore Kayla's warning, no matter how strange she seemed. Together, they started planning how to prepare for the attack. Kayla shared what she knew about the enemy's weapons and tactics. Her knowledge was deep and valuable, but it also brought fear. The soldiers in the camp were divided. Some trusted Kayla. Others still saw her as a threat. The soldier who saved her stood by her side. Defending her to the others, he believed that Kayla's secret could save them all. As they worked late into the night, Kayla looked at the soldier with new hope. She felt a connection growing, stronger than before. He was not just her captor or protector, he was becoming her ally, maybe even a friend. But trust was fragile. And the past was hard to forget. Kayla feared that the enemy's spies might be close. Watching every move, she warned the soldier, "We cannot be careless." Not now. Days later, a scout reported seeing enemy ships near the planet's orbit. The camp prepared for war, tensions rising like a storm. Kayla and the soldier trained the soldiers. Sharing new strategies, they worked together, learning from each other, building a team. During one quiet moment, the soldier asked Kayla, "Why did you say you would warm my bed?" Kayla smiled softly. "In my culture, it means to protect and care deeply. It is a promise of loyalty and trust, something I offer you." The soldier nodded, feeling the meaning behind her words. He knew their bond was growing stronger, but the battle ahead would test them both like never before. As night fell again, Kayla stood outside the camp. Looking at the stars, she thought of her home, of the war, and of the strange human who saved her. Her heart was heavy, but full of hope. "This war," she whispered to the night, "will change everything." The days grew shorter and colder as the camp prepared for the coming battle. The human soldier and Kayla trained side by side. Learning from each other's strengths, Kayla showed the humans new ways to fight, moves she had learned on her war-torn planet. The soldier taught Kayla about human weapons and tactics. Blending their knowledge, at first, their relationship was cautious and full of doubt. But as time passed, a quiet trust began to grow between them. Kayla admired the soldier's calm in the face of danger. He respected her strength and the pain she hid behind her fierce eyes. One evening, after a long day of drills, they sat by the campfire. The firelight danced on Kayla's scarred face as she spoke softly. "This world is strange to me, but your kindness feels like hope," she said. The soldier nodded. "And your courage gives us a chance," he replied. The camp was filled with tensions. Soldiers watched them with mixed feelings. Some still saw Kayla as an enemy to fear. Others whispered about the strange bond forming. The soldier ignored the gossip, focused only on what mattered: survival. The nights were the hardest, filled with silence broken only by distant animal calls. Kayla often found herself staring at the stars, remembering her home planet. She wondered if she would ever see it again, or if this strange human world would become her new home. The soldier saw her sadness and tried to offer comfort. He shared stories from Earth's simple things like rain, seasons, and family. Kayla listened, sometimes smiling, sometimes lost in thought. Their worlds were so different, yet they found common ground in hope and fear. One day, the camp received news that the enemy forces were moving closer. The humans tightened security and prepared weapons. Kayla helped plan the defense, using her knowledge of enemy tactics. Her advice was sharp and clear, earning her respect even from the doubters. But inside, Kayla struggled with her own fears. She feared betrayal not just from enemies, but from those she had come to trust. She kept her guard up, hiding her true feelings beneath a mask of strength. The soldier noticed her hesitation one afternoon. He asked gently, "Kayla, what weighs on your mind?" She looked away, then said quietly, "Trust is hard to give when you have been betrayed before." He nodded, understanding her pain more than she knew. "We will face the storm together," he promised, "but only if we trust each other." Kayla looked into his eyes, seeing honesty and determination for the first time. She let down a little of her guard. She placed her hand over his, a silent vow between two warriors. As days turned to nights, their bond deepened. They shared fears and hopes, laughter and silence. The camp saw a change to a strange peace growing among the soldiers. The fear of the alien warrior was slowly replaced by respect and trust, but the enemy was not far. Scouts reported strange movements near the border. The soldiers prepared for the worst, their nerves tight like bowstrings. One evening, as the soldier and Kayla stood watch on the camp's edge, they saw lights flicker in the distance. Enemy scouts approaching. Without words, they moved together, silent and ready. Their teamwork was perfect, a blend of human grit and alien skill. The battle was fierce but short. The enemy scouts were driven back with few losses. The camp breathed a sigh of relief, but knew this was only the beginning. After the fight, Kayla and the soldier sat together. "Exhausted but alive," she whispered. "I did not think I would find trust here, but with you, I feel something new, Hope." He smiled, "And with you, I feel stronger than ever." The bond of survival had turned into something more. In the cold, dangerous world, two very different souls had found warmth in each other. Their story was far from over, but together they were ready for whatever came next. The night sky stretched above them, full of stars. And beneath those stars, a new alliance was born. One built on trust, courage, and the promise to protect. No matter what the future held, they would face it side by side, together. The camp was quiet in the early morning light, but beneath the calm, tension filled the air. Not all the soldiers trusted Kayla, the alien warrior who had become part of their group. Whispers and sideways glances followed her everywhere. Some believed she was still an enemy, hiding secrets and waiting for the right moment to strike. Among those suspicious was Sergeant Marcus, a seasoned soldier who did not believe in second chances. He watched Kayla closely, his eyes sharp and cold. He spoke quietly to a few trusted men, planting seeds of doubt and fear. "To trust her is to invite disaster," he warned. She could be a spy or worse. The human soldier who had saved Kayla sensed the growing danger. He knew Marcus well, stubborn, loyal to the old ways, and afraid of change. He tried to calm the camp, telling them to give Kayla a chance, but the fear was strong and old wounds ran deep. One evening, as the camp settled down, a secret meeting took place near the edge of the forest. Marcus gathered his men and spoke in low voices. "We cannot let this alien fool us," he said. "We must act before she harms us all." They planned to capture Kayla and hand her over to the enemy. It was a betrayal that could cost many lives, but Marcus believed it was the only way to protect their people. Kayla, unaware of the plot, was resting after a long day of training. She felt the weight of loneliness, but also the growing bond with the soldier who saved her. She trusted him. But the camp's cold stares reminded her that not everyone had forgiven. The soldier noticed Marcus's unusual behavior and grew worried. He decided to confront him quietly, hoping to stop any dangerous plans. "Marcus," he said, "we must work together. Kayla is not our enemy. but Marcus only sneered. "She is a threat you do not understand." Their words were tense. And the soldier knew time was running out. Late that night, Marcus and his men moved toward Kella's tent. They intended to capture her while the camp was asleep, but the soldier, watching from the shadows, followed them silently. He could not let his friend fall into betrayal. As Marcus reached the tent, the soldier stepped forward. Blocking the way, "Stop," he commanded firmly. "This ends now." Marcus laughed coldly. "You choose to protect the enemy over your own people." A fierce argument followed, voices rising and soldiers waking. Kayla woke to the noise. Her senses sharp, despite her weakness. She saw the soldiers surrounding her and knew something was wrong. Without hesitation, she stood tall, despite her injuries. "I am no enemy here," she said, her voice steady and strong. The camp was divided. Some soldiers sided with Marcus, others with the soldier who saved Kayla. Suddenly, the camp's alarm sounded. Enemy forces were approaching faster than expected. The betrayal threatened to tear them apart at the worst possible time. The soldier grabbed Marcus's arm. "We must fight together or die divided," he warned. Marcus looked at the soldier and then at Kayla. For a moment, the anger faded, replaced by the harsh truth of war. He nodded slowly. "For now, we fight as one." Kayla stepped forward, her voice clear. "We will protect this camp together," she promised, "but trust must be earned. Not given lightly." The camp prepared for battle. Their differences set aside, the enemy attack was fierce. Pushing the soldiers to their limits, Kayla fought with skill and courage. Inspiring those who doubted her, the soldiers stayed close, covering her back, their teamwork perfect under fire. After the battle, the camp was quiet but alive. Marcus approached Kayla and the soldier, a new respect in his eyes. "You proved yourself today," he said gruffly. "Maybe I was wrong." Kayla nodded. "Trust is hard to find after war, but it can grow." The soldier smiled, knowing the hardest battle was not just with enemies outside. It was the battle for trust within. As the sun rose, the camp faced a new day, stronger, united, but aware that betrayal could still lurk in the shadows. The bond between the human soldier and the alien warrior had survived the test, but the future held many more challenges, and somewhere, in the darkness, enemies waited, ready to strike when the time was right. The camp was tense as the sun began to set. Soldiers prepared their weapons and checked their gear. The enemy was close, and everyone knew this could be the last fight. Kayla stood beside the human soldier who had saved her. Both were ready, their bond stronger than ever. They had trained, planned, and fought together. Now, it was time to face the storm. The sky darkened as enemy ships appeared on the horizon. Red lights flashed across the clouds, signaling the start of the attack. The camp erupted into action. Soldiers ran to their positions, shouting orders and warnings. Kayla moved swiftly, her alien strength and skill showing in every move. The human soldier followed closely, protecting her from danger. Together, they led the defense, inspiring their comrades. The enemy was fierce, attacking from all sides. Lasers and explosions lit up the night. The ground shook under heavy footsteps and weapon fire, but the defenders stood firm, determined to protect their home. Kayla faced a powerful enemy warrior, one she had battled before. The fight was intense. Blows exchanged with speed and force. She fought not just for herself, but for the humans who had trusted her. Her promise to protect had become real. The human soldier fought beside her. He took down enemies with careful precision. His eyes never left Kayla, ready to help if she faltered. The battle raged for hours, neither side willing to give up. But the defenders had something the enemy did not trust, and unity. Kayla and the soldiers' teamwork was unmatched. They moved as one, covering each other's weaknesses. At a critical moment, Kayla was knocked down by a heavy blow. The enemy raised a weapon to finish her. The soldier rushed forward, taking the shot before it could hit her. Pain exploded in his side. But he stayed standing, protecting Kayla. His sacrifice shocked the soldiers. They rallied with renewed strength, pushing the enemy back. Kayla helped the soldier to safety, her hands steady despite the chaos. She whispered, "Thank you, human. You saved my life." As dawn approached, the enemy began to retreat, their forces broken and confused. The camp was safe for now, but the cost was high. The soldier was weak, his wounds serious. Kayla stayed by his side, refusing to leave. She treated his injury with care, using knowledge she had learned on her world. The camp's leaders gathered, praising the bravery of both humans and alien warriors. The soldier and Kayla were seen as heroes, symbols of hope and unity. But the soldier's thoughts were on Kayla. He looked at her and saw not just a warrior, but a partner. Their journey had been hard and full of danger, but together they had survived. Kayla smiled softly. This battle is over. But our story continues. The soldier nodded, feeling a new strength inside him. They had fought as enemies once, then as allies. Now, they were something more, friends, maybe even family. The war had changed them both. It had broken walls and built bridges. And in the quiet moments after the battle, they found a peace worth fighting for. Outside the camp, the sun rose fully, its light warming the scars of war. And inside, two warriors sat side by side, ready to face whatever came next, together. The battle was over, but the world had changed forever. The sun rose on a new day, warm and bright. In the camp, the soldiers began to rebuild what the war had broken. Yet something deeper was being rebuilt: their trust, their hope, and their force, and their future. Kayla sat beside the human soldier who had saved her life. Both were tired, but filled with a quiet strength. The bond between them had grown through fire and fear. What started as a plea for mercy had become a promise of loyalty. The soldier looked at Kayla and smiled softly. "You saved me as much as I saved you," he said. She nodded, her eyes shining with gratitude and something more. A new path was opening for both of them, one they had never expected. The other? Soldiers watched quietly, their fear replaced by respect. Kayla was no longer just an alien warrior. They saw her as part of their family. She had fought beside them, bled with them, and earned her place. Together, they were stronger than any enemy. Kayla knew she could not return to her broken planet. Her home was lost to war and betrayal. But here, with the humans who had shown her kindness, she found a new hope, a chance to start again. The soldier reached out and took her hand. "Whatever happens next, we face it together," he promised. Kayla squeezed his hand, feeling a warmth she had never known. This was no longer just survival, it was the beginning of something real. The camp slowly transformed from a battlefield into a home. The soldiers shared stories, laughter, and dreams. Kayla learned about human customs and traditions. The soldier learned about her culture and strength. They built a small garden near the camp, a symbol of life and peace. Kayla planted seeds from her planet. The soldier watered them. Together, they watched new life grow in the middle of the war-torn world. One evening, as stars filled the sky, Kayla and the soldier stood side by side. They looked out over the quiet land. Feeling the calm after the storm, Kayla whispered, "Thank you for believing in me when no one else did." The soldier smiled. "You never had to prove yourself alone." Their journey had begun with fear and war, but it ended with trust and hope. Two very different souls had found a home in each other, and a future waiting to be built. As the stars twinkled above, the soldier and Kayla made a silent vow. To protect this new world together, to stand as one against any darkness, and to never forget the bond that saved them both. The captured alien warrior was no longer a prisoner. She was a guardian, a friend, and maybe something more, the human. Soldier was no longer alone. He had found a partner who would stand with him through every challenge. And so, their story closed on a hopeful note. Not an end, but a beginning. A promise of new life, new trust, and new love. Together, they would face the future stronger, united, and ready. Because sometimes, the greatest victories come not from battle, but from the bonds we choose to make.